Welcome to the first lecture of this section of the course. Now you are about to learn about objects, strings, how to use built-in classes, methods, what static means, and a lot more. You have been hearing me talking about objects, but what is an object? Now it's time to reveal the secret. Objects are like variables, but they don't store one value. They can store multiple values. And not just that, we can use methods to perform actions on objects. We will see what this means in a bit. Now think of an object as a custom data type with many values inside and with methods to make it do stuff. Object-oriented programming is key nowadays to make every kind of program. And this is the topic where many people get stuck. So if you can understand how this works, you will be ahead of a lot of people. Our first example will be a string. A string is a custom data type. Strings are useful because they can store whole sentences inside them. This is just a variable. Notice that this is not a primitive data type. This is a string. A string is an object. Here I'm creating an object of the type string, which name is S, and which value is hello world. In this case, a string is an object that is built in Java, so we can use it everywhere. What's cool about objects is that we can use methods on them. If you write S and then you write a point, you will see in Eclipse that you have a long list of methods you can use on this string. In this case, I'm going to select length, which returns an int. Okay, this indicates that I must store the value it returns into an int variable. You click here, semicolon. Okay, now I have this, but I haven't stored the value yet. I create a variable int to store the value. And now we can do whatever we want with this variable right here. For example, printing it out to console. Now it's time to reveal a little secret. Here you can see system.out. And now I press Ctrl space. And here you can see a list of methods I can use. We have been using this kind of methods all along. In the case of system.out println, we see that println takes a string as a parameter and returns void. Void simply means it does not return anything. In the case of length, it returned an int, so we needed to store that value into an int variable. In the case of println, it does not return anything, so we don't have to store the value. It just prints to console whatever it has to print. Okay, now I have my console ready. And look at this. If I pass I, which is an int, to the println method, and I press the run button, I can see the result. Why? It takes a string as a parameter. This is an int. Normally, it would throw an error, but a string is a special kind of object. There are not many special kinds of objects, don't worry, this is just the exception to the rule. In Java, everything can be converted to a string. It's so useful that Java gives it some kind of privilege, to say it like that, because as we will see, this right here is not the normal way to initialize an object. To initialize an object, normally we will use the keyword new, but you don't see new right here. This is because a string, as I said, is special, and we can initialize it just like this. Here I will create another string, and I will call the length method on it, storing its value into the variable r. Okay, this is right here, and I will print it to console. I save, and now I click the run button. I see 1. Okay, what I wanted you to notice right here is that I have objects of the same type, the type string, and those objects, when I use the length method, which is the same method in both objects, it returns different results because those methods are applied on different objects. Why I want you to notice something so obvious? Because in the next lecture I will show you how to create your own objects. And how do we do that? Well, we create a blueprint for an object. Now, a commonly asked question. Now, here we see a string. So how many of these objects can I use? What are they? How to use them? How to know more about them? Well, there are thousands of object types. Now, you don't need to know every one of them. How to know about them? Well, you have to read a lot. So, if your objective is to learn Android and you read a book about Android, in that book you will find information about every object type that you need to learn Android. So if you want to learn Android, there will be a set of objects you need to learn, and if you want to develop servers with Java, you will have to learn another set of objects. So every kind of specific job requires a different set of object types. And how you can learn more about them? Well, you can read a book about the topic you want to learn, and if you need extra resources, you can look the Java documentation, searching for Java documentation in Google or in your favorite search engine. And that's basically it. In the next lecture, you will learn how to create your own object types, and if you have any question about this topic, please send me a message. I will answer you as soon as possible. This is a difficult topic and I want you to master it. Okay? So good luck, practice a lot, and see you in the next lecture.